Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to 3 Buck Theater. And one of the biggest surprises of 2019 in regards to streaming was The Boys. This was an absolutely amazing first season of a show, completely engrossing, absolutely violent, over the top, disgusting, depraved, and just, well, quite frankly, amazing. And The Boys 2 is shaping up to be just that. So that's why the news today about how Amazon is going to be releasing it is something that I think a lot of people are going to stand up and take notice of. But it's also not the most unique way of approaching it, but it does seem to be something that is coming across as more frequent. Now we're just waiting for, well, let's say Netflix to jump on board. So what we know here is that The Boys is delivering season 2 by releasing it episodically and not doing it all at once, not binging it. And they're also going to be putting out an after show, which is something that is really fascinating. Let's find out more. So it's been saying here that there's been a lot of news about Amazon's The Boys in the past week in the light of the Comic-Con at-home panel, which included a confirmation for season 3. Yes. Release clip from season 2, which was good, and more information about the character Stormfront, who I think is going to be an absolute great foil to Homelander. There's also news about an after show titled Prime Rewind Inside the Boys, which will premiere August 28th with host Aisha Tyler, who I do like quite a bit from Archer, and she's also hosting Whose Line Is It Anyway? So she's really funny. At first glance, the after show doesn't seem to suit the traditional streaming show that releases all of its episodes in a single day. However, Amazon also announced in a press release that this would no longer be the case for The Boys. Now, before we go further, Netflix tried this with Stranger Things season 2. They released all the episodes at once, and then they did an after show that I think was like a couple episodes or just one episode, starring Jim Rash, who sat down and asked everyone a bunch of questions. And it was cool to watch, to get a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff with that. But then again, this was like a culmination of the entire season of season 2 of Stranger Things and not episode by episode. And I feel at this point, many more people are wanting it to be episodic breakdowns because it gives them time to enjoy said episode and then discuss said episode and then also get the water cooler effect to kick in. And that is kind of where I see streaming going as a way to, in this COVID pandemic world, literally stretch things out. And as a content creator who doesn't have all the time in the world to sit down and watch these shows in 12-hour stints, this is a godsend for me. It may not be something you're fully interested in. And I know people like Grace Randolph are going to look at this and she's going to cry to the heavens. She's going to bang her, stomp her feet and go, ah! But I think the rest of us is going to be pretty better. Also, HBO Max is doing the same thing with Doom Patrol, and I think that's working out well for them. So this is what we know. It says here that Prime Rewind Inside the Boys, it will be executive produced by Michael Davies, Aisha Tyler, Julia Cassidy. It doesn't matter. It will debut on August 28th with a look back at season 1 and continue on September 4th to dive into each episode of season 2 as it rolls out through the October 9th finale. So the entirety of the month of September is going to be all Boys on Amazon. And that's going to be great because I'm going to be covering it, talking about it, doing reviews, doing post-show discussions with you guys, maybe even watch parties. And I think a lot of other people are going to do the same thing. Going on to say here, instead of having everything out at once, The Boys will release the first 3 episodes on September 4th, and then episodes 4 through 8 will be released one per week until October 9th, which is actually not that bad. You get 3 episodes to start off with, and then you get the last 5 episodes leading into the season finale, and that's going to be something that gives us time to watch. And it's not like 20 some odd episodes of a season where you might lose interest over time. It gives you everything in a short window, only a month and some change, like was it 35 days. So you get 35 days of this, but it's not like all at once. And I say this because season 3 of Stranger Things is, I think, an amazing season of that show. But once it came out July 4th weekend, 2019, everyone binged the 8 episodes and then no one was talking about it. Really, no one was talking about it. I mean, The Boys, people still talked about after the fact because it was that good. And I was called out, rightfully so, by saying that people aren't talking about The Boys afterward. I was wrong. People were, because the hype for season 2 was that high. And that commentary only increased after we got the release date and we got that first trailer and we got the little tease and all the stuff that goes with it, because this show has built up a massive audience during this last year. So it just makes all the sense in the world to why not have an after show? Why not release it week to week and let the water cooler effect kick in? And that, again, for me, And I'm being a bit selfish here. For me, that is the best course of action. That's why I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Now it says, while binge watching has become more of the norm thanks to Netflix, other platforms like Disney Plus, HBO Max, and DC Universe mirror traditional television with weekly releases of episodes. And this is where we're going to see a lot of pushback from certain people. This is where we're going to see a lot of complaints from some people because they are just used to the binging method. But in reality, not everybody has the time to watch everything all at once. And in this world where we have the FOMO, the fear of missing out when it comes to this kind of entertainment, in fact, so much of our entertainment is based around FOMO. Think about it like this: Endgame, right? 22 film, season, if you think about it, it really is like a 22 episode season of a TV show that took 11 years. Everyone rushed out to go see the finale. But like if we would have binged it all at once, it would have been like too much and no one would have done it. But we have this fear of missing out in our society and our culture, especially when it comes to these kind of properties, these cult classics, these cult favorites, these massively popular shows. So releasing it week to week allows people to digest it at a slower pace, allowing it to last longer. I mean, look, to use a terrible analogy in regards to sex, do you want it over quick or do you want it to take some time? You don't want to be a two-pump chump and then be like, well, I'm spent. I can't even continue. I'm done. I'm done. Rather than taking the sting effect or approach and making it really kind of last you a little bit to kind of truly experience it and get that full body release. My analogies are terrible, but you come here for the terrible analogies, ladies and gentlemen. You come here for the terrible analogies. Now it does say that this has been successful for some shows like The Mandalorian. However, these platforms are newer and have yet to develop a library like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, which is true. Because of this, new streamer services need to make the most out of their original series by spacing out episode releases. And Netflix has been around since 2007, at least on home consoles. It's been around a little bit before then, I think, with Instant. So they've been able to build up the binging culture and make that the centerpiece of their business. But I think we as a society are moving away from that. We as a society are absolutely migrating away from that whole prospect. And the reason why has everything to do with the fact that people don't have as much time. And even now in this pandemic during quarantine, people have the time. So they've been complaining about blasting through all of their content, their backlog super fast. And anything new that comes out gets rapidly digested and then moved on to the next thing because they've got all this downtime and they're not discussing it. So it's almost like they're feasting on all this content and they're not being able to get anything out of it that's like of nutritional value. So I think this is a good thing to do. I'm really actually on board with this one. I like how it says here, online discussions about each episode can be spaced out better, which builds more word of mouth. And I completely agree. Like I said, The Boys is a fantastic show. It's a fantastic season. This season's going to be even better. I've talked to people who've already watched the first couple episodes of it, some critics who really, really, really like it. And this is going to blow up when it releases in just a couple weeks. And I think gearing up for that and letting people express it through word of mouth is going to be something that's going to work out better. We've kind of hit this weird pendulum where the old traditional release model was not, was detrimental in many cases to shows because shows were not allowed to be given time to develop an audience. It was either a hit or a dud, and that was really about it. Some shows were able to kind of last in that middle space for a while, but really it was like, if it's not doing well, then it's gone. But with streaming, when we got binging all at once, people got used to watching it all at once, and therefore that fear of missing out would be able to then be, taken, right? You would be able to give into that. Now it's like we binge something and then we don't enjoy it. We don't even really digest it. We just kind of move on to the next thing. And the rinse repeat is the process. And as a person who enjoys content, but as two young kids, it's hard for me to watch as much as I want to watch and get everything else I need to get done. This is something for me is perfect. And I think that it will allow people to not only develop better word of mouth, but then to develop more of a desire to talk about it. Because look at how The Mandalorian did it. It built up, it built up, it built up, it built up. It kind of tied into The Rise of Skywalker, but everyone was talking about that finale because of what happened. And it had the time to build, and that solidified a brand new show to 15 Emmy nominations. Something there to consider for this. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm definitely excited to see more. I do want to hear what you guys have to say about this. So let me know down in the comment section, because I think you guys are going to I think it's going to be a fun back and forth. Some of you are going to agree. Some of you are not going to agree. But I want to hear it. I'll talk to you guys about this all later. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please become a channel member or help support the channel via Patreon for as low as $1 or $2 a month. It really does help out right now because COVID is in fact destroying YouTube as we know it, but it is what it is. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day and peace out.